day here in California. We're very excited to see you virtually. I wish I was there in person. Normally, I would visit you in Tokyo. And again, my name is Steve Wildhaber, and I coordinate international admissions. I do have a very special guest with me also. She is having some audio problems. She'll come back in one moment. She's a colleague from my office. So I'm going to share a screen and we will get started. Okay, good. So do you see a picture of our campus, CSU Chico? Good. Okay. So as you can see, we are California State University, Chico, and we are one of the oldest universities in California from 1887. I graduated from CSU Chico with my bachelor's degree, and then I returned later for my master's degree from CSU Chico. So it is a special place for me to study, but also to live and to work here in Chico. I will be able to share this presentation with my colleague, Yuki-san. I believe that she's made it into the call and here she's waving. I'll let her introduce herself and she can tell you a little bit about her journey because it's special for this group. Yuki?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having us here this evening in California, in the morning in Japan. My name is Yuki Watanabe Rojas. I am an admissions advisor at CSU Chico, mainly work with undergraduate students. And the reason I am so excited to join this meeting is that very, very long time ago, I was once a NI student myself. So I believe, what year is it in NIC this year? The 25?
24th. I don't know, 34th.
Hi, Yuriko-san.
Hi.
24. Wow.
No, 34th.
So I went to NIC studying as an NIC student probably before you were born, because I'm on the fifth year at NIC. So that was very, very, very long time ago. But I was a student, so I kind of understand what you might go through to pick school, or your parents might worry about where you want to go. So I am here to help you. And I will later share my email address. So if you feel more comfortable asking questions privately, I'd be happy to give you questions.
Thank you, Yuki. So we'll move forward in the presentation, but you know you have a friendly presenter this evening, Yuki-san, who can answer your questions. And she is the person to admit international students for bachelor's degrees. So a very important person in our office. Okay, so we'll move forward here. I'd like to share a little bit about the California system so you understand how Chico fits into education in California. We have three public education systems after high school. We have the California Community College system with 115 campuses. This is one of the largest systems in the United States. In these colleges, many of them have a program called 2 years at the college, then 2 years at university, and admission to university can be guaranteed. This is called a 2+2 program. Okay, Chico has many 2+2 partners in California. We can share those schools with you. Now we have the California State University system. This is a system for bachelor's and master's degrees. The focus is on careers. It is focused on professional degrees. So teachers, psychologists, engineers, musicians, could be computer animation. The programs train you for success in your career. So that is why usually the CSU campuses do not have doctoral degrees, so not focused on PhD programs. That means the University of California, with 9 campuses, that is the focus for research and doctoral degrees. So University of California are the schools like UCLA, UC Berkeley. I think you know the name of those schools, right? Okay, but the CSU is the largest university system in the United States. We'll talk a little bit more about the CSU in a moment. Then we have private universities. Maybe you know these names: Stanford University, University of Southern California, or USC, Pepperdine. These are wonderful universities, but also quite expensive. Okay. The CSU system, 23 universities. Chico is the second oldest from 1887, one of the oldest universities in California. This system, all 23 universities, have close to 500,000 students. This is the largest university system in the United States. We have almost 2,000 different bachelor's and master's degrees. Each campus is different. So if you want a special program, you might look for 1 or 2 different campuses. But sometimes campuses offer the same programs, like business is very common. Education is very common. But you need to know your future career when you pick a campus. Okay. There is one application system for the whole CSU. So it's called Cal State Apply. You'll see this on the screen. But if you want to apply to 2 campuses, then you must fill out 2 applications. Okay. We can help you if you have questions about the Cal State Apply system. In general, the CSU, California State University system, is known as being the most affordable and the highest quality college system in the United States, because the cost of the fees, the cost of the tuition, is very low. And that makes education very accessible for international students and for California students. Okay, I have a quick video to show you the feeling of Chico. Chico State is what we normally call the university when students are here. Let me check the sound. So maybe Yumiko, give me a thumbs up if you hear the sound. I'll just play a quick moment.
We would like to welcome you to California.
Okay.
We would like to welcome you to California State University, Chico, commonly known as Chico State. Founded in 1887, Chico State is the second oldest campus in the California State University system, the largest, most diverse, and among the most affordable public 4-year university systems in the United States.
Home of the Wildcats, our beautiful campus is located in a university town setting in Northern California. Within driving distance of several international airports, the state capital, San Francisco, Silicon Valley, Lake Tahoe, and many national parks and forests.
With more than 200 undergrad and 25 master's degree options available, there's a good chance you will find the academic program you're looking for.
Some of the top degrees pursued by our international students include computer science, business administration, engineering, psychology, international relations, and interior architecture.
One of the unique features about our campus is that it is a university town. Campus is the center of student life and of the city. Our international students experience a strong feeling of community and welcoming, friendly people at the university and within the city of Chico.
When students first come to Chico State, they love its park-like setting and how beautiful it is. The red brick architecture makes it feel like a historic private university.
Chico's supportive faculty, staff, and diverse opportunities on and off campus, including internships, jobs, sports, and student clubs, help to develop leadership and networking skills.
U.S. News and World Report, Money Magazine, and Forbes all recognize Chico State as a best value university. Our alumni proudly talk about the advantage of Chico's career-focused approach and the high return on investment.
In addition to excellent academic programs, our international student scholarships and low housing costs result in a low total cost of attendance for our students.
We know you'll love Chico State. No matter where you're from, you belong here. Okay, great. I hope you enjoyed that short video to show you the feeling of the university. I have maybe one more slide, and then I'm going to pass this on to Yuki to talk a little bit more about the campus. So let's talk about academic excellence. Now, when I speak with students in East Asia, Japan, Taiwan, China, I know one important thing in choosing university, and you talk about this with your family, is what's the reputation, what's the ranking of the university, right? It's common to think about this. So I've chosen some rankings, some information that I think are helpful, okay? Especially for NIC students, because you also think about the cost sometimes, right? The cost also matters for NIC students often, okay? US News and World Report. This is the most famous for American families to choose a college. This is a report that's given once a year. Since the report began for over 20 years, CSU Chico has been a top 10 public university in the West of the United States. Okay, so in that category, we've always been in the top 10, and we expect to continue to be a top 10 public university in the West. And you're thinking, why? Why top 10? Top 10 of what? Well, I think Money Magazine and Forbes Magazine are good indications. Now, raise your hand. Tell me, is anyone studying business? Maybe thinking business administration, maybe business studies. Okay, a couple. Okay, good. So if you're studying business, you need to start reading Money Magazine and Forbes Magazine. This is for smart investment, okay? How you spend your money smartly. So Money Magazine and Forbes Magazine, they choose the top colleges in the United States for the quality, the low cost, and the high career success. So how quickly do students find jobs? And you'll see Money Magazine and Forbes Magazine call us a best college in the United States. Now, Forbes, their last report was 2019. So this is still current, 2019. There is no 2020 or 2021 report yet for Forbes. So this is the most up to date. Okay, now, do you have a chat? Everyone has a chat in Zoom? I hope you can write in the chat. Okay, now guess, just guess, no wrong answer, guess. How many colleges and universities are in the United States? Put a number in. Don't think too long, just very quickly, how many colleges and universities are in the United States? Put a number in the chat. I want to see numbers in the chat. How many universities? Good, we got numbers coming in. I see only 2 there, we have a few more. Good, good, good. Keep coming, keep coming. Okay, good. We have really high numbers and some medium numbers. Okay. You're actually a very, very clever group. Most students, even many from Japan, will say 500, 800. In fact, many of you are far above. It is about 4,000. About 4,000 universities and colleges in the United States, okay? Does anyone know how many are in Japan? I don't know. Okay, maybe under 1,000, I think. Maybe in the hundreds, okay? So my point, look at Money Magazine, 7.5%, okay? 7.5% of 4,000. That means we are a top-ranked college for the quality and the value, okay? That's my point. 7.5% is quite good. If you like business, notice this, AACSB. That is accreditation. Now, that's a big word. Maybe Yumiko-san can help after the meeting to explain accreditation after the Zoom. We have been AACSB accredited. This is the quality of business program we offer for over 50 years. So for over 50 years, we have been ranked as a top business school. Only 15% of the world's business schools have AACSB. And I think this is a good sign. Okay, now I'm going to hand this over to Yuki, and I'm controlling the PowerPoint. So Yuki, you just let me know when to move on, okay?
Hi there again. So when you think about California, think about the whole Japan, the main island of Japan, perfectly fit in the size of California. So that's how big it is, right? So Chico is located in the central northern California. That said, if you want to go to sightseeing in San Francisco, it's a day trip distance. It's about 3-hour drive distance. If you want to go skiing, 2-hour distance. And there's a national park close by. And if you want to go to some of the famous places in California, for example, Hollywood, beautiful beach, Disneyland, they are about a 10 to 12-hour distance in driving. So imagine driving from Aomori to Kagoshima, right? That's about how big California is, but we have a freeway that you can go straight. And of course, you can take a flight. My favorite things to do in California is to go visit Disneyland with my daughter. So I drive about 70 minutes to San Francisco and ride an airplane for an hour, and then boom, I'm already at the Disneyland. So that's how big it is. So it's big state, as I said, whole Japan, the main island of it. But if you want, you can drive, or you can take a quick airplane ride, and you can go anywhere. Right? Let's see what else we got. And Chico, the name of Chico means small in Spanish. So it's a small town. In other words, it's very, very cute. It's very community centered. And the Chico State University is right in the middle of city. So it's very, 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 very friendly. And this is an example that I want to share. Few years ago, I traveled from Chico to Japan along with some staff member from Butte Cottage. And we are very friendly, talk, right? And we travel all the way to Tokyo. And as soon as I land, my personality click as a Japanese character come in. So I'm moving fast, and I'm not looking at people in the eye. No, on the airplane, I'm not looking at people. I just move fast. And my friend noticed, oh my God, Yuki has a different personality. She moved fast, she walked fast, she's not looking. That kind of tells you what people are in Chico. Very friendly, very relaxed, and they love to have a conversation with you, right? So when you come to Chico, of course, international office staff will talk to you about how to make a friend and what to be careful, because you don't want to talk to everyone, right? But if you need help, it's so easy to find somebody who can help you or be friended with. And that's a great thing about City of Chico, and also the university that it's in this university town. Within the Chico city, we have about 17,000 students as a student in Chico. So it is a college town. So typically during the summer, many students go home visiting family or have a part-time job somewhere else in Chico. So it's very quiet. And this week, we are getting ready to welcome students because the fall semester starts next week. So every day this week, we have more students coming in to Chico city and campus. So it's getting more lively. But at the same time, we like to talk. So it's very student-friendly, people-friendly town and campus as well. That said, we like to help people. So we have a very strong characteristic to help people, and we have a great support service. I don't know how much time you have, Steve, but I would like to share one thing that people might think it's a support. We have many different support systems for health and counseling, sure, but we want to make sure the student feel really good, happy, because happy students do well academically, right? If you're having homesick, you have so much trouble in your head, you're not going to enjoy living, or you're not going to be a good student. So one of my favorite activity or support activity in Chico or Chico State is called Puppy and Donut. Do you have any idea what the event like Puppy and Donut might be? It's a supportive event. What do I see at the Puppy and Donut? Tell me. Any idea? How about Puppy, the small dog, right? So the staff member will bring therapeutic dog. Those are the good dog that is really help other people. Not like my dog that goes crazy. I'm sure you'll hear them barking sooner or later. So I go with my friend Cindy. She's an international student advisor who also helps students. We go and play with the puppy, makes us happy, happy student, happy staff do well academically or working, right? Happy people do well. How about the puppy and donuts, the donut part? It's very American. Donut. Everybody likes donuts, and donuts make people happy. Maybe a lot of sugar, maybe. So when people are happy, they do well academically. So some event like that, silly puppy and donuts, is actually very effective to be a very good student. So we take your well-being very strongly. Okay. And I think this Steve might have mentioned about the classroom, right? Did I? So we have a many great program. One of the thing again is called Wildcat Rec Center. It's beyond gym. It's super beautiful, super cool. If you are very active in sports, you can go and join. Again, happy people, very healthy people do well academically. But if you're not so sports active, that's okay. Sign up for yoga, stretch and relax. Again, happy student do well academically. So we take your well-being very carefully. Right? And I think we can go, I think the best value in the university or tuition, I think we cover pretty much, right? All right, so let's move on to the next, Steve. Do you want me to go over, Steve? Okay, so Chico is a residential, it's called residential campus. So that means there's a campus and then many people live around campus. So a lot of students walk to campus. Not that many students drive to campus, walk to campus or ride a bicycle to campus, right? So they go to class and they meet other students for lunch or study group, or maybe they're tired, they take a nap on the lawn, or they go to library, right? But there's so much library thing going on, not just going to study. Some of the opposite example, it would be more like a metropolitan campus, and that's kind of similar to NIC as well within the California State University system. Some of the big city school students drive or catch a ride to campus, after spending half an hour to 30 to 60 minutes, come to campus, go to class, but then they have to go back home, catch a ride, so they don't spend too much time on campus. So it's a great place to learn, but as being a residential campus, there's more lively activity going on. And that's something so special about Chico State. Chico State has a 7 residential campus hall, so that's like a dormitory, right? Few of the dormitory are very friendly to international student need. Many dormitory close during the long break, like Christmas break, Thanksgiving break, spring break. Many American students go home and dormitory shut down. But international students don't really, it's a lot of work to go home in Japan, right? They like to stay. In that case, several of the dorm are designed so the student can stay, and they have some outside access to rooms, so you don't have to get different lock to go in. So we are very cautious about international students' need. And those are the example of those hall is University Village. Conco Hall, and something new as a global experience house is a dorm room, and the section that are many international students and American students who would love to experience getting to know international student or student with a different background. So there's a lot of opportunity. And if you like to get involved, that's great. Or if you're more private person, that's great too. We have option for you. Okay. Student dining center, and then that's some of the example of different type of dining. Some students like to go and social and have a buffet style. That's great. Some of the den is more like my style. I'm not sure about you, but I am very much a night person. Right now in Chico, it's about 7:30 p.m. and I can go on 4 more hours with a lot of energy. But if you want to talk to me 8 in the morning, I'm very quiet, right? So when I was a student, that was a long time ago, I like to have a breakfast at the Wildcat Den style. That means instead of having a big meal, big cafeteria meal, or you can eat breakfast, I like to go to the den or small cafeteria that I can just order my triple shot hazelnut latte and maybe donuts. See, everybody likes donuts. Donuts make me happy, right? But I don't like buffet breakfast. So again, we have many different options to fit your need, right? Let's see, affordable on-campus housing. So like I said, City of Chico is here, very friendly town. And it's right in the middle of Chico City. That's Chico State. And around Chico State, many housing where students live. So typically where students live, the housing cost is very low. And often, I know Steve likes to compare, and I'm going to borrow his word, right? In California, well, same city, same state. There's a many big city like San Francisco, Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, San Diego, many beautiful cities, but they are very expensive to live. Kind of like it's very expensive to live in the middle of Tokyo, right? Chico's housing is very, very low compared to them. As a matter of fact, it's even lower than half of what you pay in San Francisco or LA. Now, the tuition, the school fee is the same no matter which university under the CSU you go to, but the living cost makes a huge difference. So think of it of renting a very small room in Tokyo right next to NIC, or maybe you ride 40 minutes on a train, cross the Tokyo Saitama line or the river, and then housing is less expensive, right? That's Chico right there. But you don't have to pay any money on transportation because you live practically next to Chico State. And in Chico, city of Chico, you show your student ID card to the bus driver or the swipe, and you can ride the bus for free. You do not have to pay money on the bus ride at all. Just show your Chico State ID. That's pretty cool, right? All right, let's see what we have next, Steve.
Thank you, Yuki. I wanted to mention something else maybe that helps. I think maybe some of you like Harry Potter. Maybe some of you like Harry Potter. Raise your hand if you like Harry Potter. Okay. Do you know Hogwarts? Hogwarts? Okay. Chico is the Hogwarts of California. This is the place where everyone comes from other places across the world, across California. And for one time a year, everyone comes to Chico. They love it. They live there. They live with the professors. They live with the staff in this beautiful city, small city. At the end of the year, everyone leaves. They leave for the summer. Okay, so Chico's like Hogwarts. And then last thing, I put a link in the chat. Please look at this link later. It is a cost comparison between living in San Francisco and living in Chico, and it is in Japanese yen. So you can think in Japanese yen, how much does it really cost to live in these places? I can say with confidence, and Yuki can, less than half the cost for housing. Less than half the cost. Okay. So I think I'll take some of the next slides. Engaged learning, Chico's style is learning by doing. You learn by doing. So in all these pictures, if you're going to study film, you're going to be creating film. If you're going to be in animation, you will animate. If you're going to be in agriculture, you will work on the farm. If you're an artist, you will be drawing, painting, sculpting, being a musician. If you are in music business, you will record music. If you're in biology and science, you will do experiments and you will do research as a bachelor's student. Okay, this is all learning by doing. We have a good faculty to student ratio, teacher to student ratio, different from the very large research universities like UCLA or UC Berkeley. The CSU is different. At UCLA, UC Berkeley, they're excellent universities. But for the bachelor's programs, the professors don't teach you normally. Normally, it's an assistant. The professor is doing research in the office, not in the classroom teaching the students. The CSU is different. Your classes are taught by professors. They have the PhD, they have life experience in the career, and they love to teach. And so they're there at the university wanting to teach you. The focus is not on doing the research. When you want a doctoral degree and you want a PhD, that is the time to go to a research university. But at the bachelor's level, you want to focus on your studies and practical skills. Okay. What can you study? We have many subjects, but these are the most popular with our international students. But we have many more, over 200. Business administration, a lot of engineering, mechanical, civil, electronic, computer science, mechatronic, that's robotics, robots, right? Computer engineering, psychology, interior design or architecture, economics, international relations. But we have many others. Yuki studied recreation, hospitality, right?
That was fun.
I was a recreation major for a little bit of time, but I also studied music. I studied geography, but I finished my degree in German language studies. So there are many different subjects. Here you see examples of students being active in their learning. There are so many opportunities for you. I can say that we offer almost every subject except aviation. You cannot study to become a pilot. And we don't have a medical school, but we have a bachelor's degree if you want to be a doctor. In the United States, you don't study medicine at the bachelor's level, you study biology. If you want to be a pharmacist, you study chemistry in the United States. We have those programs, okay? Where can you work? I think maybe you know some of these companies. These companies come to Chico to look for Chico students. Maybe you know Pepsi, maybe you know Boeing, they make airplanes. Maybe you know IBM, Yahoo, Apple, Microsoft, Google. All of these companies come to Chico because they know we have good future employees. That is why we are highly ranked with Forbes and Money Magazine. They know that our students get good jobs. Some of our programs even have 100% job success for the graduates. Not all of the programs, but some of them. Business information systems, some psychology programs. We have concrete industry management. Concrete industry management, 100% job success. Every student gets a scholarship on that program. Concrete industry management. Very special programs that lead to special careers here. Yuki, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Okay, so when you apply to college, there's a qualification, right? This is about the Chico State. if you do not take any college courses, not like a Lakeland College or any of that, just the high school, you're considered freshman, first-time freshman. So that said, we have standard on what you need to be qualified, and this standard apply to all kinds of different country, different education backgrounds. So it might be a little bit confusing. So generally speaking, we want to make sure you get a high school diploma and a college preparatory program. So general high school in Japan, not vocational high school, right? And we want to make sure that you have a good academic skill. So we call 3.0 GPA out of 4 in America. So that's like a B average. When it comes to Japanese standard, that's like 4.0 out of 5, but that's really high sometimes, right? The good thing about me being a Japanese, went through all the high school, right? I also understand that some of the high school has a different ranking, right? So if you went to really high level ranking high school and you got like C average, I know that you have a really good skill to somebody compared to not so high or maybe low to enter, but work really hard. So they have a B average or even A. I'm not going to compare just because the student has A and you have a C. I will look every single background to make sure that you have a good, successful background. I'm not saying because we want to bring as many students we want. We want to make sure that when you start at the Chico State, you can succeed. We're not going to put you to fail, right? And we want to make sure that we provide all kinds of support, including academic support you need when you start. So don't get too stuck on the grading. If you're interested in, work with your staff. I've worked with Yumiko-san for many years, and I'd be happy to take a look at your transcript, and I will do everything to be very unique, just because I understand the Japanese system, and to make sure that you have a good skill to succeed. Okay. Also, sometimes you see like, if you want to come to American school, you need 3 years of high school math. I understand that if you go to non-STEM or literature STEM high school program, you probably spend 1 year of math in high school, not 3 years. I understand the difference. So don't get too stuck on the math, right? So again, we look at all the possibility to make sure you succeed at the Chico State. And then we have the English proficiency required. Make sure that you have a good English skill, speaking, oral. The easiest way to assess is a TOEFL. We need a 61 on the IBT or IELTS score 6.0. We also accept NIC's institutional TOEFL. And as a matter of fact, NIC is the only school, the CSU Chico, accept the institutional TOEFL because of the long-standing history of working together and how much we can trust on their, how they teach and how they assess. So we do take institutional TOEFL, just don't tell any other student, okay? Now, if you take any academic courses, for example, Lakeland College courses, you have a college unit. So that becomes you a transfer student, even though you never attend a US school physically. So at that point, we also want to make sure you have a good academic skill. The GPA or the academic performance we want to see is a minimum of 2.0. That is like, in Japanese high school, that is 3 out of 5 rating, right? So we want to make sure that we look at all the background. And if you go to, no, if you first come to United States and go to other US school like community college, then there's an additional requirement for from the general education like oral communication, written communication, mathematics. So you have a different path to come to Chico, like finish high school and start as a first-time freshman, or take some college courses, NIC, and start as a transfer student, or go to community college in California first and come to Chico State. And I actually welcome more than few NIC transfer students. Actually, I met a few of them in the last few days. The application deadline. Okay, so in United States, there's a 2 academic semester, fall semester and spring semester. Some school only let you start in the beginning of 1 academic year. At the Chico State, if you decided to come in the second term, like spring semester, that is okay. So depending on what your plan is, you can start from the fall semester or spring semester. So there is a 2 different opportunity to apply. And these are the deadline, and you can easily find on an application portal for California State University system. And if you have any question, just email us, whether it's international admission or me, okay? Now, how to apply? This is very standard to any CSU system. You go to, how to visit the, Chico. If you're interested in, come to Chico's website, right? And then it will have all the information. And when you're ready to start application, you go to Cal State Apply. That is a platform for all California State University school. And then you get to pick which school you want to go to, which major you want to go to. And once you submit your application, it goes to the school like Chico State. And then I will start working directly with you. Okay. Do you have any question? You can say it. Boy, Yuki speaks a lot. That's because it's the evening.
She's had her hazelnut latte with 3 shots of espresso, I think, in the Chico mug.
Latte.
Yeah. I'm curious if you can put in the chat, please write the program. What subject do you want to study at college? I know some of you want business. Put that in the chat. Tell me, what subject do you want to study? I see some are starting to come in. Don't worry about spelling. We'll understand. Yeah, good. I see some coming in. We'll wait for just a few more. What do you think you want to study? Wonderful. So what I see, Yuki, is that every single person in this Zoom room has a future at Chico State.
I was afraid you might say marine biology.
I know.
Before.
It happens. It happens. But
it happened. I want to work with whale. I was like,
or fish.
Might want to go near ocean.
Yeah. So everyone here has a program, has a home at CSU Chico. And many of these are our top programs, like international relations, business administration, a lot of international relations, politics. We need smart people who understand politics right now in the world. Dance, education. Chico began 135 years ago, over 135 years ago, as a teacher's college. So we know education best. I can say that. We were one of the first education schools in California. We also have, I wish I had this picture. We have the most beautiful picture of a Japanese student. Maybe she's NIC, I don't know, studying dance at CSU Chico. And I wish I could share the photo with you. Maybe we can find it later. We have all of your subjects, even communication. We have communication studies for journalism, public relations, but we have communication for graphic design, for video production, for radio production. We offer all of these subjects. So I'm very happy that you could find something interesting at looking at our website and talking with us more. I think we could offer you a lot in these subjects. Okay, tell me in the chat or raise your hand, how many of you think maybe first a California community college, maybe first community college, 2-year college in California or the United States, and then transfer to university? Raise your hand if you're thinking about transfer, maybe transfer. Yeah, okay, always a few, good number. Okay, good. You're smart, that option is lower cost, right? But I want to tell you, this is important. Do you remember I put a link in the chat? The link is for the cost of living. Okay. The stereotype, the thing everyone believes is that California is always expensive. It's not true. California is the size of Japan, and it is very diverse. So the cost of living is very low. I can tell you that the total cost of Chico for 1 year, total cost, housing, food, tuition, fees, everything, can be lower than 1 year of study at a community college in San Francisco, or lower than 1 year of cost in Los Angeles, in some areas of Los Angeles, okay? So don't believe that a college is always cheaper. Maybe the fees are cheaper, but the cost of your housing, your rent, could be 2 or 3 times higher than Chico, okay? In the end, your family pays the cost for everything, not just the tuition. So be smart, ask for scholarships, but please look at the total picture. That's the true cost of education. I think Yuki found the picture. It is such a wonderful article there. And we have, yes, I love the one of her in the creek. So there you can learn about how we offer dance at CSU Chico. Okay, now last chance, I want to try to help you. I know NIC does this. I was an English teacher for many years, also taught German in the United States. I used to be a teacher, okay? The thing that makes American teachers the most nervous is a silent classroom. When students do not talk and do not ask questions, the teacher becomes afraid and thinks, I did a terrible job. The students learned nothing from me. This is the opposite from Japan. So don't be afraid. If you have any questions, now's the time to ask. If we end the presentation and we don't have any questions, Yuki and I will worry. The students didn't like our presentation. They didn't learn anything, okay? Really, so this is training for study in the United States. What are your worries? What are your questions? I think maybe you have many worries. This is normal, especially now in the pandemic and everything. But what are your questions? Please tell us. We have a few more minutes and then I think we have to close. What are your questions? Yes, Taro. I see Taro raise his hand. Tell me, what's your question? How can we help?
I'm Taro, and I'm interested in architecture. So I'd like to know about more details of interior architecture.
Good question. Okay. It's important to know architecture is a different subject from interior architecture. So at Chico, that means design of the inside of the building. The design, the colors, the feeling of the materials, the materials, wood, metal, fabric, how things look and feel inside a room, right? Architecture is the shape of the building. Is the building made of concrete? Is the building made of wood? Is it made of metal? Is it made of glass? How do you use math and physics to create the building, right? That's architecture. Chico does not have architecture. If you want architecture, Do you want to be help draw the plans for a building? You want to look for San Luis. I'm putting this in the chat. Obispo. This is Cal Poly. This is an excellent school for architecture. It is very competitive, very difficult to enter, but the same tuition cost as Chico. And also a college town. Great place to study. I suggest Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Other questions? I know you have questions or worries.
Yumiko-san.
Hi. Could you explain about the scholarship more? Because that you mentioned that the 9,500 scholarship.
Okay, good. So give me one moment and I'm going to quickly share my screen so that it makes sense, okay? So quickly share my screen and I want to show you our website. Okay, do you see a website? Yep, okay. Here is international admissions. Here is the total cost. This is for 1 year in US dollars. Okay, tuition always has two parts, the fees you pay to university. Tuition and fees, and then non-resident tuition. You are not a resident of California. You were not born in California, you are from Japan. If a student comes from Texas, if they come from New York, if they come from Washington State, they are also not a California resident, okay? All students who are from outside California, they pay a non-California resident tuition fee, okay? So this is the difference between you and a California student. In 1 year, the difference is $9,500, okay? Chico is one of the few universities in the CSU system. We can take away this fee for 1 year for many international students. It's competitive, so you have to apply. And the total cost of the program, the total cost for 1 year is about 23,000 US dollars. Putting this in the chat so it makes sense. That would be the total cost for 1 year if you receive our scholarship, okay? This last year, we gave it to about 16 or 17 international students. I believe we had about 20 students apply. So what does that mean? Almost every student who asked for a scholarship received a scholarship, who has good grades, who has a good, strong letter from a professor. Those things we can help you with, right? We'll explain, but we have a great opportunity. The cost for Chico is already low, but with a scholarship, it's even lower. And that will be much lower than any other community college in California. Thank you, Yumiko-san, for mentioning that. That's very important. We can help you. The scholarship that for the non-resident tuition, it only happens at the beginning of the year. So you have to begin in the fall semester to get that scholarship. And I will put that information in the link. This is where you can find information about scholarships for international students, okay? Good. Any last questions? I think we just have a minute or two.
May I ask?
Misaki or Ayano? And then Misaki. Ayano first?
Okay. Hello, I'm Ano, and I want to major in communication. So, according to the website of CSU that I searched before, there are a lot of options or a lot of kinds of study. So, it is there are some strengths or characteristics of the study compared to the other university.
I think most universities in the CSU system will have communication studies, but I think some of the strengths with Chico that you should think about. We have a very successful university newspaper called the Orion. And the Orion has won many awards for a university newspaper. And now it is online, but the students are like interns. They have a job to work at the newspaper, and it's an excellent experience. And it's well known for being a high quality newspaper. In other ways, students in communication studies who study video production, so like preparing for to create news on the television, we have a complete news studio at the university. So you use the TV camera like real life in your career. So you get real practice. And when you apply for your job, this is important for all of you. If you're thinking about maybe getting a job for a short time in the United States after graduation, you can do that with a student visa for 1 year, up to 3 maybe. You need to create skill in your years in the United States. The name of the university is not important. When you have an interview, they will ask you, what do you know? Tell me what you've done. Show me. Tell me about it, right? What skills have you developed? That's why I think the CSU has a good advantage. So there are more, but you're right. We have too many options in communication studies. I think we have a lot.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then there was one more, Haruka
Seki.
and Masaki. Okay,
Hi,
Masaki.
so I want to transfer the credit that I'm supposed to get in the US to the university's credit in other countries. So I would like to ask you about, like, is there any program or something that I can do that? Like transfer the credit.
Which country did you take classes from?
I'm not sure yet, but
Okay.
I think Europe or something.
Okay. Yes. International admission also evaluate the transcript from different country. Whether you're part of the admission or you were being a student and then decided to take 1 year off from Chico State and study in Spain and come back. We will compare and we will accept the credit. We want to make sure those are the university level credit, and then we will honor that. And we have a great advisor to look at it to make sure it's not just the unit you want to transfer. Maybe this is related to general education. Maybe it's related to your major. So, and they will review and approve to replace the Chico State requirement. So usually, if in that case, it's better to study a little bit before you go. But if you already have a transfer from different country when you apply, we will evaluate and let you know. And at this point, I will evaluate and let you know. Okay.
So are there a minority student that like transfer the credit to other countries' university?
If from Chico State to another country?
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, the receiving school in the other country is the one to make a decision or how many units they can bring from United States or which course will be transferred. Yes, they will receive.
Okay.
They will do the evaluation. But if you want to bring it to Chico State, we or Yuki will look at it and let you know.
All right. Thank you.
Good question.
I think that's a smart question. Most
Yeah.
students don't think about how that works. And you can always talk to us before you apply and ask some questions to Yuki about the courses. Also, Chico has one of the largest study abroad programs in the CSU. What does that mean? That means you are an international student, but if you want to study in Paris for 1 semester, we can make that happen for you.
Sounds amazing.
Or you can come to Chico and decided to go to Waseda University.
Yes. Right. We have partnerships with other Japanese universities. That's silly. You don't want to go back to Japan. You want to stay in America or see something else. But if you want to study in Australia or some other place, even something exotic like South Africa, right? We can help you study in those places. I was a study abroad advisor for many years. So we can help you do that. Okay, I think we're almost out of time. We'll take one last question. One last question from anyone. Anyone have one last question? Yeah, Rino?
No.
Yes, thank you. I want to learn international relations and education. So is it possible learn both in CSU Chico?
Definitely, definitely. Something different, very, very different from Japanese university is when you go to Chico State or apply to college, you admit it. And if you decided, this is not the major that I thought I would like, I changed my mind. It's relatively easy to change mind. Right? Or you want to go double major, you want to add minor, that's relatively easy to add. But that means you have to meet all of the program requirements to graduate, right? So if you don't mind studying longer, that's okay. One of my best friends he is awesome. One of the funnest person ever. Everyone loves him. Student loves him. Professor loves him. He loved being a student and going to the party a little bit, right? And he spent 7 years in undergraduate study. That doesn't mean he's a bad student. No, his GPA was like a 3.8. He's a good student. Everybody loves him. But he changed major like 4 or 5 times. And he finally found the one he likes and graduate, which is good, right? So that again, if you want to add a major, double major, change a major, add a minor, that's possible as long as you're okay with studying longer to meet. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thank you very much.
Chico has a wonderful United Nations team. Do you know the United Nations? It's all the countries across the world work together to solve problems, okay? There's something called a model or mock United Nations. This is where universities have teams and they debate and they represent countries. Chico always wins the national titles. We go to New York City with a team and we win all of the awards. They have a very strong team to go there. So I think if you like international relations, you will practice being a diplomat and you will practice international relations with our university team. It's quite good. I'm so sorry. We have run out of time and you are one of the most wonderful groups we've had in a long time. I'm just so happy that you're sharing your screen and we get to see your faces. We are welcoming students back to campus this week. It's starting slowly, starting cautiously. There is a vaccine requirement for all students at our university campus. Vaccine is easily found. All the new students are arriving and students without vaccine are getting it right now. Each day they can access the vaccine. In spring, we expect the campus to be 100% normal, all in person. This semester, about 65% is in person and 35% is online, okay? Things will continue to improve, but it's still a difficult time. So we expect you have questions, your family has questions, please contact us. Yuki-san, thank you for joining me tonight. Yumiko-san, thank you for having us. I wish we were there with you, but we will come again soon. So have a wonderful day and we hope to hear from you and see your application. ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。皆さんも感謝。Thank you. ありがとうございました。ゆきさん、ありがとうございました。
じゃあまたありがとうございました。
はい、また失礼いたします。はい、大丈夫だった？高校の成績が良ければ、またレコメンデーションレターだとかね、自分の、そのスカラシップの、推薦の内容が良ければ、そのノンレジデンシャルのフィーを、授業料を安くなるっていうのは、めったないところのユニークな特徴だと思うので、 我こそだと思う方はぜひチャレンジしていただくといいと思います。でそうするとね、それをもし$9500をもらったら、2年生大学と同じ金額になる。なんで、それはすごくいいことだと思います。ただ、成績が4.5ぐらいないときついかもしれない。だけど、ぜひチャレンジしたいという方は、その良さってあるし、チコ自体はとてもね、学園の都市でとても綺麗だし、学生っていうか、留学生と、現地にいるローカルの、アメリカ人とかとの距離感も近い場所なので、とてもそれもいいところかなと思いますので、興味ある方はぜひ、その代わり、ちょっとね、中にある。それは割り引いていただいて、考えていただくといいかなと思います。何か質問とかあります？大丈夫？NIC スタートするまであと1週間、来週1週間でスタートします。なのでね、生活にちょっと気をつけていただきながら過ごしてください。よろしいでしょうか。どうもありがとうございました。何か質問ある人は残っていただければ結構です。はい、ありがとうございます。